Let's get sweaty.
110 Industries, Shenmue 4. I don't know where this came from, but it came out of left field. James, do you want to take us through it a little bit?
According to this, Matt, it was the 7th of April, right? Which, luckily, it's a week after the 1st, because if it was on the 1st, I would have thought it was a bit of an April Fool's joke. But no, it was the 7th of April, and 110 Industries actually teased Shenmue related activities in response to an Instagram post. So I'm trying to think, what was the Instagram post? Can you remember?
So they put up a post of Kowloon for Wanted Dead, and someone
Right.
tweeted something Shenmue related about it and Yu Suzuki, and they basically turned around and said, "Why do you think he was in our video?" And
Yeah,
they
because that was
just
the thing. That was like right at the end of last year, wasn't it? They had
yeah,
an interview that was on their YouTube channel. It
yeah.
Was it like a big hour-long video with like quite a few different Japanese?
Yeah, it had loads of them in it, and Yu Suzuki sort of headed up the front of it.
It
He
was
was the
the
first
first
one.
one, yeah.
So they had that, and then this Instagram post, which was responded to. It then you take these things with a pinch of salt, don't you, as
Yeah.
Shenmue fans? Let's be honest about it. We do. So that came out and made some of the gaming websites. I then cheekily went to 110 Industries and said, basically, ha ha ha, this is really funny. Whatever. I can't remember the exact tweet, but I'll put it on the screen for everybody to see. And they just tweeted no comment at me, and then followed us, and their president followed us on Twitter.
So it was very hinty, very teasy. Everything
Yeah.
they've been doing around this period. I think the social media guy may have been getting out of hand a little bit. I don't know who actually runs the social media aspect of things, but what ended up happening was within May, they put out an apple and banana tweet, didn't they? It was literally just an image of an apple and a banana.
Yeah.
And Shenmue fans, obviously, because we've just been teased quite heavily the previous month, we're looking at everything through the eyes of a Shenmue fan, and obviously apple and banana is every day at Shenfua's house is your breakfast, isn't it? You pick it up on your way out of the house. There's literally an apple and a banana sat next to each other. So it's not hard to make that connection, considering nothing else makes sense for an apple and banana. And I think since then, I don't know if this is later in your notes, Matt, but he said the reason why that tweet was because he likes fruit or something. So
yes,
remember that?
Yeah, so that was in a Discord chat, which someone mentioned that tweet at him, and he just said, "I like fruit," which I found quite funny and
I think he was taking the piss a bit, but I think you've got to make the Shenmue 3 connection there, haven't you?
You have, and it all lined itself up in the way it was done, from the original Instagram post to then that. And then they said they had a huge announcement which never materialized. They obviously then released the interview with Yu Suzuki in full, which was around the summertime, which good sort of 20, 25-minute interview, which I guarantee you really good. You should watch this. It's really, really good. It's really informative. I'd love to see.
That's not the huge announcement, though, is it?
No, it's not the huge announcement. I'd love to see the B-roll actually from some of that, because I get the impression there was more, and for whatever reason, it hasn't come out.
And Wanted Dead was already announced.
It was,
so it's not like Wanted Dead was potentially a huge announcement.
No, Wanted Dead was already out there. IGN are very much behind it, doing lots of promo work with it, etc. So it's very much in people's faces, in gamers' faces. And then later on, I think this was around May, June time, the rumors just didn't go away. And there was a tweet came out from the president of 110 with his working boots on, saying, "Let's get to work."
Is that like the cowboy boots?
Yeah. And he was in Japan. It even said where he was in Japan. And Nathan, everybody know 24 Nathan from the forums. We know Nathan very well. Tweeted the hashtag "Let's get Shenmue 4." 110 just said eventually.
What we meant to believe, what we meant to think when, replies to tweets like that. It's very specific. He could have just turned around and said nothing, or said, oh, "Sorry guys, we're not involved," or whatever. But they didn't. They kept on teasing and making these sort of statements eventually, as though they're involved.
And this is the thing. If you're not involved, why not just kill it? Yeah. I know there's a theory out there around 110 using us as a bit of traction for Wanted Dead, which I can understand to a point, but I'll be honest, we're a very loud fan base. We're not a massive fan base in gaming, are we? but we're very
No,
passionate. So I don't know. We are not going to decide the fate of Wanted Dead, and it
definitely not.
makes it even more odd that the tweet was deleted. They deleted the tweet 110 Industries. So
Kind of like they've been asked to, if you know what I mean.
yeah, like that have been a bit of a slap on the wrist sort of thing.
Yeah,
Luckily, because we're Shenmue fans, this was screenshotted and chucked on our forums within
of course. Yeah,
minutes of this thing coming out. So yeah, I don't know. It's then it just kept going. Game Rant confronted it and said to Yu Suzuki in an interview, what's this all about? And he said he was quite surprised that they were tweeting about something that they're not involved in or potentially not involved in.
yeah.
So again, he didn't seem too impressed about it, did he? Really?
Things have kind of died down since then. So
Hmm.
whether or not Yu Suzuki made a little phone call and said, guys, say if they are involved, for example, not to say they are, but just saying, for example, the Yu Suzuki could be a little bit annoyed, saying like, we shouldn't really be doing this, guys, because we're lining up a massive announcement, and if you're revealing it a little bit, even though you're not, you're teasing it, it's probably not the right thing to do, perhaps.
It seems a little bit naive knowing Shenmue fans. Now, Yu Suzuki will know what Shenmue fans are like. He's been
Yeah.
around us for 20 odd years now. He's going to know that any smidgen of news we are going to
Well, look
go
at the
in
forklift
on.
tweet he did, right?
Yeah,
That's a telling tweet. Everyone switched on, had their eyes on E3. Dreams were answered.
exactly. So he will know what we're like. So whether there's a bit of naivety on 110's front around this teasing and what we're like as a community,
Mhm.
possibly. But as you say, James, it's gone very quiet. There was the Discord Q&As where a couple of people asked questions around Shenmue 4. The Apple Banana tweet was asked about. He just said, I like
Yeah.
fruit. And somebody else asked if they were involved with Shenmue 4, and he said no comment at that point, just in text form. I'll put it on the screen so people can see it. And there was also a interview held around, I think, August, September time with I can't remember the name of YouTuber now, but I will put his name in the description for everybody so you can see it, and there's a link to the video. And he's asked directly, the guy directly asks the president of 110 Industries, what's around Shenmue 4? Are you involved? And he gave it a bit of a wry smile and then sort of and ahed, and then said no comment, didn't he? So what's in that? Is there anything in that?
I don't know. We need a body expert, really, don't we? Body language expert. But what's interesting is that they keep saying no comment. I know it's Sergey for the most part saying this no comment, but why say no comment if you're not involved? Like, why not? It's like someone that's this is a really out there analogy, I suppose, but someone that's in like a court for murder or something, and they're being questioned, and they're just been told to don't answer any questions, to say no comment, no comment, no comment. You know what I mean? And they're not pleading innocent, and they're not pleading guilty. They're just they're just not talking about it at all.
Yeah.
But in doing that, it kind of it's like they are guilty in a sense, because otherwise they would have no reason to say no comment. They'd just say the truth, wouldn't they? Do you know what
Well,
I mean?
yeah, exactly.
So it is an interesting point.
It is. It's a very interesting point. And as you say, it's died down very much since the summer, despite the odd little comments here or there from people asking questions, and rightly so. So if they are involved in this, like you say, I suspect there's been a phone call going, you need to calm down a little bit here because
Yeah.
this is getting out of hand, and you know what the Shenmue community is like. So we just have to watch this space. I mean, I don't anticipate, if they are involved, I'm touching wood as I say this because I'd love them to be involved because I want to see where this goes. Wanted Dead comes out on February 14th. You're not going to hear anything about any other project, I don't think, until this is out there and they've
Yeah.
got through that release window. Beyond that, who knows?
No, I agree with that. I think once that February the 14th thing is, all the teasing hopefully will come, pardon the pun, to fruition. So we'll see what happens after that. Could just literally be nothing, and
Yeah.
all the Shenmue fans are going to go out the way to buy Wanted Dead, and they're going to be sat there with all these wads of cash, laughing. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, on a side note, I have got Wanted Dead pre-ordered because it does actually. Aside of that, it does look
There
like
you
quite
go,
a good
Matt. You're
game.
part of the problem.
Part of the problem, yeah. We'll see, But what excited me about it, whether this goes anywhere or not, this is our first real solid Shenmue 4 rumor,
Yeah.
especially since I interviewed Cedric in 2020, and they'd obviously
Mhm.
prototyped Shenmue 4 at that point, were pitching to publishers. So to then have this really solid rumor come out, I don't know, it whets the appetite. I think I just hope
Yeah.
something comes of it.
Well, you've got to think you're coming up to 2023 now. That's 4 years since Shenmue 3 was released, albeit November. So
Yeah,
come to the end of November. So it's just over 3 years, rather. I might as well say it
yeah,
like that because we're closer to 3 than 4. But we are getting into that sort of period now where if Shenmue 4 is to be a thing, it needs to start revealing itself a bit now,
yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Mm,
Otherwise, we're getting into that sort of territory of like hiatus again, aren't we? Whereas,
we
like at the
are.
moment, we're rolling. Animes come out, things are happening. We've got a shit ton of merch behind me that we're going to get into it a little bit more in a moment. So Shenmue's not on hiatus by any means, but we are reaching that sort of fourth year where hopefully a Shenmue 4 anything starts to happen.
Yeah, and we just have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing for that. And it's something that